Cars are meant to go like this. Hello everyone, and we are here at a thankfully quite sunny Oulton Park, where we are here for the first round of the National Formula 4 Championship, where we're going to be taking on this track, which has already been quite a lot of fun to do. We were here testing yesterday, which was a lot of fun to drive for the first time. So much risk, so much reward, so much corner types. It's got everything, and there's so little room for mistakes. Had a lot of fun here testing yesterday. We had a bit of dry, bit of weather, bit of wet even. Now we've got qualifying coming up shortly, I believe at half past 8, so about half an hour-ish. It's going to be important to get a good qualifying here because it's quite tricky to make overtakes. You can make them if you're very, very brave, but it's I think we need to start in the front foot, so hopefully we can have a good qualifying and then go from there. And then we've got 2 races today, race 1 and race 2, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. 20-minute quali, 20-minute races, and a whole lot of action probably to come, So the testing on the Friday went relatively smooth. We had 4 sessions that were 30 minutes each, and we had 2 of which were dry, 1 was sort of in the middle, and 1 was pretty wet. So we got a good mix of experience for different conditions. We never really got the chance to try much setup because of that, because naturally when you're going from wet to dry, you can't really get the feeling. But it was also my first time at Oulton Park. I'd never driven the track. It is very unforgiving, very, very narrow. Very, very fast as well. You're probably averaging, just under 90 miles per hour around the whole lap. So it's very, very fast, very flowing. Got to get a really good rhythm. So my focus was just to build up progressively, be intelligent on the test day, not do anything silly. So we didn't put it, don't want to end up putting it in a wall. That's number 1. And head into qualifying with as much confidence as we could. We knew from testing that we had some solid pace to fight for pole position, which was, the number 1 thing going into qualifying, to be in the mix, because qualifying is very important around Oulton Park. It's a very tricky track to get overtakes done, putting quite a lot of emphasis on where you line up on the grid. So that's qualifying done, and I'd be lying if I would have said I wasn't disappointed, because we're 2 tenths on pole, and we're starting P5. And you know where this is sort of going. Once you see that gap and you know how much you've lost, you already start calculating, where you've lost that. So, yeah, made a few mistakes on my fastest lap. One big one on, I think it was into Druids, where I just overcooked it and lost a full 10th at least on the Delta. I don't know exactly how much it was, but it was at least a 10th. And there's a 10th to P5 and 2. So if I was on the front row, it would have been a completely different outlook. Would have been in a much better mood. But that's racing. Just got to get on with it now. P5 for later. It's still not bad. We're still relatively in the mix. The pace is good. The car's got the speed. I just didn't get the best out of myself in qualifying. I don't have any excuses. Just didn't do the best job. But I'm very critical of myself anyways. But the promising thing is that we do have, I think, some decent pace. We just need to try and put it all together in the race, and then just go from there. It's going to be a crazy race. Very hard to overtake round here in general. There's going to be a lot of fighting ahead. It's just, important to get a good start. Try not lose any more positions because we're P5. I don't really want to go much. I don't want to go further back. So I want to just take it lap by lap, stage by stage. It's a 20-minute race, so it's going to be quite a long one. It'll probably fly by. Well, depending on what position you're in, but yeah, we'll see how we go. And yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what happens because it's usually a bit of a train round here. But anything can happen. So we'll see. Let's see what happens. Heading into race 1, our eyes were set very much forward. The qualifying wasn't what I really wanted, but we knew that we had the pace to go forward in this race, and that was what my focus was really on. Heading into race 1, we knew that we had the potential to fight for the win and to mix it with the front guys from the week before, where we were racing at Silverstone in the United Formula 4 Championship, where we actually led almost all of the first race at Silverstone, where we didn't quite win in the end, but we had a lot of high hopes going into this race, but luck was not going to be on our side.
That's what you can do.
Well, that does relieve some of my misery that I wasn't.
We were wondering why he was.
I was 49,
and it was like
literally 49 lows. I couldn't go back.
Yeah.
I was like, am I a second slower or what's going on? Exhibit A. Boing boing. tyres aren't meant to go like this. I'm wondering why my laps are so slow. I'm like, ooh, and then it's like, tyre's not exactly inflated, is it? That makes my misery a little bit less. Just a little bit less. Yeah.
There you go.
What causes that? I mean, that could be anything.
Getting on track.
Well, there's not exactly much to talk about from that race apart from went up, normal procedure, formation lap, yada yada yada. Got on the grid, all the lights are on, and the clutch wouldn't release. The clutch was stuck to the floor, so it was impossible to get it into drive. The pedal was literally stuck right at the end. So the clutch was fully engaged, and I could not get off the line. Thankfully, no one went into the back of me, so we got wheeled into the pits. The team thankfully managed to, just unclip the clutch from the end, which is fine because that meant I could, drive normally. Because the clutch was working, fine. It was just the pedal was physically stuck right at the end, which is not ideal. And yeah, 2 laps down, so I just used it as a test session. Very valuable mileage. Every lap I need to learn more and more. I was wondering why I was so slow during the laps, because I was miles off the pace, and it was consistently miles off. So I was like, right, what the hell's going on? And it's because of what I'm literally sitting on right now. I had a puncture the whole race, so that was not ideal. The culprit is here. It is just casually leaking air, as you do. You'll probably hear it here around this area. Little culprit. So yeah, we're starting P11 for the next race. Nothing to lose now. We're gonna have some fun the next race, to be honest. I mean, that race was couldn't really do anything. I had a puncture the whole race, and couldn't get off the line. So can't get much worse than that in some ways. So, oh well, it is what it is. I'm still happy to be driving, still learning, still getting on with it. We'll go from here. We'll just get on. We'll get on with it from here. We'll see what happens in the second race. But we should have some good fun. I heard the fight for the lead was quite good. So if people fight a lot, then we can maybe try and get ourselves back in it. Because the pace has been good, all testing, all of quali and stuff. So it's just a case of hopefully everything goes smoothly, and we'll go from there. And hopefully no more of these little things deciding to squeeze air out of a hole in the rubber, which is never fun. You little pesky thing. Honestly, this is... Oh well.
It's race time.
It's a Singapore Grand Prix now.
And then number 88, Quinn, 62 minutes skip. Down, ninth place. In the lead still from beforehand. Then number 80. Then in 88, the next man through, Morgan Quinn. To Elliot.
It's just the way I've always done it.
I'll tell you. Oh, racing
Mate, the lap one, I was like, get him out.
Sorry, on that start, I was like, you better not hit that barrier.
Nah, because I wanted to go the inside, but it was blocked.
Yeah.
I had such a good start, actually, for once. And then I wanted to go the inside, but there was two, so I had to be patient. Got one, then another one to the next, and then I got someone else somewhere else in the lap.
How was that? You on a fucking mission, mate?
I don't know, we started, what, 11?
Yeah.
And we finished with 7?
7, yeah.
Oh, I did get to 6th. But we were in the fight for, was that the podium fight?
The front of that train you were in was third, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it depended how much everyone fought, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's literally.
Quinn cut. Yeah, Quinn. He was on trying to get Quinn, mate.
That was
and
good.
Then Quinn moved him onto the grass. That's how he lost the other place.
It's gone cold. Well, a bit warm. Yeah. Good as it gets.
So, that is our race weekend here done at Oulton. I've got the best case of helmet hair you'll ever witness in your life. But yeah, that was a fun race. We started 11th because, I mean, race 1 we basically didn't get to take part. It was just like a test session, of which we had a puncture in, so that was never ideal. But overall, I am very happy with how the second race went. You know, we didn't maybe get as far up as we could have, but that was just down to battles and how hard it is to actually make a pass here. But lap 1, I think we made like 3 or 4 places. Like, we made a lot of positions up. We went from 11th to 8th or 7th. We got up to 6th as well at some point. And we were running in the pack with the podium, so we were fighting with the guys up to P3. It was a big train of like 4 cars. Went for the move on P5. Got a cheeky squeeze into the last corner, which I wasn't too happy about, because yeah, the guy went inside, I went to the outside going into Lodge, and yeah, I got a pretty big squeeze as far as my racing driver memory goes, onto the left hand side. I'll need to watch the actual footage back, but yeah, got squeezed, lost the position to the car that I'd just passed, and then I couldn't get back past again because he knew where to defend, because he knew from the time before that I'd overtaken him. So but I think I can be very happy because I had the fastest lap, and that sort of summarises this weekend a little bit with, you know, the speed's there. I've got a lot that I can leave here very happy with. Because if you told me, you know, what was it, you know, 10 days ago, right, before I even stepped back foot in a Formula Ford car, that I would be fighting for pole position, you know, even in the contention for it, you know. Yeah, today I was angry because I didn't get it, because, you know, I made a few mistakes and I had a little bit of a scruffy session. But if you'd have told me I'd been fighting for pole position, and yeah, race 1 was nothing we could ever control, but if you told me I'd have the fastest lap in a national race and I had genuine pace against, you know, some of the top guys in the country, I would have very much taken that, and it gives me a lot to be, you know, happy and satisfied with, that I've got. You know, I've got speed. You know, I'm not, you know, fluking it. I'm not, you know, magicking it out of nowhere. I do have genuine speed, and that's at 2 different tracks. Silverstone last week and Oulton Park this week. So very, very happy with, you know, the core things. But naturally, you know, you always want more. If race 1 hadn't, if, you know, the clutch pedal not get stuck, I think in race 1, then maybe we could have actually, you know, we've been in the mix for the win. I think the pace backs that up. So, but every single race driver can say shoulda, coulda, woulda. But yeah, I think that just about does it for Oulton Park. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed, you know, the content. It's been good fun making it, and yeah, I hope to be back driving at some point in the near future. So take care, everybody. Love yous all, and ciao.